Hi guys, welcome to Multiverse. It would seem that with the new Anti-Monitor event that will start January 3rd, 2018, there will be some new artifacts available in this universe online. Also, we are supposed to get a new artifact equipment slot. So technically, we're going to be able to use two artifacts at once. It's going to have to be two different artifacts. You won't be able to use the same artifact twice. But from what we can understand, they're going to add a new artifact slot to our character. So we're going to be able to equip two artifacts at once. So as mentioned, the artifacts will launch with the new anniversary event. And basically, it's going to work similar to when the artifacts were first launched. There's going to be a new mission. It's called the monitoring the situation. And once you do the mission, you will be able to choose one of those three artifacts as a reward. So same as last time, your friend John Constantine will give you one of those three artifacts once you complete the mission. So you can see here a short description of each artifact, but we actually have the long description of each. So let's take a look at each of those artifacts. A scrap of the Soul Cloak. Basically, if you guys saw Arrow last year, there was this character called Ragman. Basically, this is a small piece of the cloak of Ragman. So you can see the various stats that the artifact will grant. In this case, it seems to be recommended for any role. So no matter what role you use, you should be able to get something out of that artifact. As you can see, at rank 20, you will get some health and some power. At rank 40, you will get some might and some power. At rank 60, you will get some health. And at rank 80, you will get some power, some might, and you will get Soul Tap. Soul Tap increases your maximum supercharge and supercharge generation by 30% and reduces your supercharge ability cooldown by 20%. So it will increase your maximum supercharge and it will reduce the cooldown of your supercharge. And of course, once you reach rank 100, you will get even some more extra health. And then you have a small history of what the artifact is supposed to represent. As I mentioned, if you saw the Arrow season last year, you saw Ragman and you saw what the Ragman suit sort of can do. The second artifact will be the Legionnaire Sparring AI. Basically, if you're a big Legion of superhero fans like me, that's what the Legionnaire is referring to. Again, you can see the various stats that you could get from the artifact, and you can see that in this case, it's recommended for either damage or for a tank. So again, if you can see at rank 20, you get various health and precision. Rank 40, dominance and precision. Rank 60, you get some health. And rank 80, you get some precision, some dominance, and some predictive counter strikes. So basically, predictive counter strikes, countering an enemy increases your precision and weapon DPS by 10% for a short time. And it grants you immunity to control effects for 3 seconds. And of course, at rank 100, it gives you some extra health. And again, at the bottom, you have a bit of history about how it was created by Brainiac 5 to train new members of the Legion of Superheroes. And last but not least is the Parasite's Power Harness. You guys remember Parasite we saw him a few times in the game. So basically, they made an artifact based on our little friend Parasite. And you can see some of the stats that it gives. And again, at rank 20, it will give some health and some vitalization. At rank 40, it will give some power and some vitalization. At rank 60, it will give some health. And at rank 80, it will give some vitalization, some power, and power distribution. This artifact is recommended for controller. I don't know if you recall when we had the artifact last time, there were quite a few people who were kind of complaining because they didn't like the artifact that the controller got. Well, here's a much better controller artifact. At least, in theory, it should satisfy some of the people who are unhappy about the controller artifact. But sadly, there are players who never seems to be happy, and lately who seems to want to do only one thing, complaining about the game. But hopefully this will make at least some of them happy. So basically what the power distribution will do is that when you're going to hit an enemy with a controller debuff, you will grant to yourself and up to 7 group members power equal to 6% of your vitalization and precision equal to 1% of your vitalization. And this effect will stack with each type of controller debuff. So basically, you have 3 controller debuffs. You have healing debuff, you have defense debuffs, and you have attack debuffs. So if you cast all 3 debuffs, all the 3 different debuffs, they should stack with each other. In theory, this should make controller players happy, but I know that a lot of controllers seems to have decided to spec their controller in power instead of specing it in vitalization. So I suspect that at least a few of them will be unhappy that the controller artifact still uses vitalization as its main stat. I guess we're gonna have to wait and see. And of course, once you reach, I think I did all the ranks, but once you reach rank 100, you get two extra percent health. And again, you have a small history about Parasite and how this artifact can be related to him. So once the anniversary event launches on January 3rd, 2018, they will add a second artifact equipment slot to our character. This will allow us to equip 2 artifacts at a time and reap their combined benefits. But at this moment, the second artifact equipment slot is not yet enabled. Again, this will be enabled on January 3rd, 2018. Also, they will temporarily disable the ability to use an artifact in order to make another artifact stronger. Basically, in order to increase the strength of your artifact, you have to consume nth metal into your artifact in order to make your artifact stronger. But also, you could decide to, let's say you have a new artifact that you want to use, you could decide to use one of your old artifacts and consume it in order to make your new artifact more powerful. So right now they're going to disable this ability because basically what happened is that at some point people didn't quite know about this. So a lot of people who had more than one artifact ended up sacrificing one artifact to reinforce the other by accident. So basically right now they're going to disable this ability. But they're going to re-enable it at some point. But basically what you can do is that if you have an artifact, if somehow you decide to get a new artifact and you don't want to waste your old artifact, you can sacrifice your old artifact to increase the strength of your new artifact. But if you do that, it consumes your old artifact. And in order to avoid people consuming it by accident, they're going to disable this ability, at least for a while. So don't worry, this ability should come back at some point. Although even if it doesn't come back, I don't see how it would be a big deal, but you never know. So again, in short, there will be 3 new artifacts added to the game. There will be a second artifact slot added to the game. So we're going to be able to have 2 artifacts equipped at the same time. But that's only going to be available starting January 3rd, 2018. So I hope this made some sort of sense. It's a bit complicated to explain, but hopefully you guys got the idea. If you have any questions, any comments, don't worry. Feel free to ask so in the comment section down below, and I'll see what I can do about answering your questions. Usually I do try to answer all your questions, so if you have any questions about the artifacts, feel free to ask so in the comment section down below, and I'll try to answer your questions. So that's pretty much it for now, guys. So as always, thanks for watching, and hopefully I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.